Hello, vinyl community. How you doing? You're looking well, actually. Especially you. You got more colour back in your cheeks. So, last video I did, it got quite a lot of views. So, obviously, clickbait titles do work. So, with that in mind, welcome to today's video, which I'm going to title "John Lennon Bummed My Granny." No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. It was my uncle, but that's not important right now. Today's video, I'm going to show you some newbies or new releases that I picked up over the last couple of months. And with the articulateness of my words and the commanding tone of my voice, I'm going to try to get you to check these out, or even in some cases, hopefully buy them. So we'll see how we get on. So the first album I'm going to recommend to you is by the Sacred Paws, and it's called Jump Into Life. It's released on Mogwai's Rock Action label, although they sound nothing like Mogwai. They're a duo, two women, Ray Aggs, the guitarist, and Ailey Rogers, the drummer, and they make incredibly sounding indie pop music that's sort of combined with Afrobeat, and there's like a Caribbean influence on. Ray Aggs is such an amazing guitarist. She doesn't tend to play chords. She sort of like plays these sort of intricate and run of notes and melodies, and it's just so upbeat and life affirming and catchy. And they're just an incredible band. It's a band that everybody should know about. They're hardly ever mentioned, but they should be. They should be absolutely huge. The music's really life affirming, and with the sort of extended weather that the UK is having, the glorious sunshine that we're having at the moment, this is something that you could just put on, and it instantly makes your day so much better. It's just gorgeously catchy indie pop, and like I say, it's got that sort of Caribbean type Afrobeat Fela Kuti type vibe to it as well. So honestly, this is a record that you really need to check out. It's fantastic. It's the first album in 5 years, but it's just as good as the last one. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna do a needle drop for you now, so you can just get a flavour of it. But please check them out. Absolutely superb. The next album I'm going to recommend to you is by one of my all-time favourite bands. I've seen them live no end of times, and they always put on an amazing show. I love the classic rock they do. I love the humour. I love the hooks. I love the songs. And it's the latest album by The Darkness, Dreams on Toast, and it's their 8th studio album. They've been quietly making albums for years, and they've always been good value for money, great albums, but they've always seemed to have gone under the radar. There seems to be a bit of a buzz about them again, so hopefully their time has come again. And I would say track for track, this is just as good as the first album, Permission to Land. So if you haven't bought a Darkness album since then, I would really recommend you picking up this new album. It's absolutely superb. And the Queen influence that's always been part of their music is really to the fore on this one. And I would go as far to say this is the Darkness's version of Night at the Opera, in terms of there's a lot of varied songwriting and a lot of different styles. It's not just all classic rock. You've got your country and western of Hot on My Tail. You've got a Beatlesque number, Don't Need Sunshine. And you just, as well as your classic heads down rockers, there's even a ballad on here, Weekend in Rome, which finishes the album. But it's a great album. It starts with Rock and Roll Party Cowboy, which is the classic heavy riff, heads down, tongue-in-cheek rocker. Then you've got I Hate Myself, which is a really fast-paced song with added horns in the chorus. That's a great song. You've also got loads of humour, which is always apparent on Darkness albums. For example, you've got the country and western edged Hot on My Tail, which is a song about a fart that ruined a romantic evening. You've got Mortal Dread, which talks about getting older as a rocker and, you know, the tribulations that come with that. And a great song called Walking Through Fire, which is about the ups and downs of being a rocker and everyone ignoring your albums. Like Justin says in the lyrics, we never stop making hit albums, it's just no one listens anymore. And people should listen. This is a great album, so I'd highly recommend this. I thought they were going for a bit of a cheap trick thing on the cover, because you've obviously got Rufus Taylor, son of Roger Taylor from Queen, and you've got Frankie Pallane, the bassist, but where's Justin and Dan? They should be on the back, shouldn't they? But I mean, they are on it. It's with the suits and the 80s phones and things like that. This version is the Wax and Beans variant, and Wax and Beans is a record shop in Bury. I've never been to it, unfortunately, but it's cool now because record shops are doing their own versions of albums, getting their own pressings done. And this is a Wax and Beans variant, and it comes with, strangely enough, a fridge magnet. I mean, you can't get more rock and roll than that, can you? So that's cool. And also, it comes on this really cool blue and white swirly vinyl, which is cool. So that's the Wax and Beans variant. So yeah, The Darkness, Dreams on Toast, highly recommend it. If you haven't bought a Darkness album since Permission to Land, check them out. Honestly, great album. So the next newbie I'm going to recommend to you is the latest album from Black Country New Road, and it's called Forever How Long. There's a bit of a history of Black Country New Road. Their first two albums were quite post-rocky and a bit proggy, and the frontman Isaac Woods had a very distinctive spoken word delivery to his vocals and lyrics. But on the eve of their second album, he decided to quit the band because he said the pressure of being the frontman was too much. So rather than give up, the band carried on without him, and the three female members of the band stepped forward to take the place and sing the songs. So you've got Tyler Hyde, you've got May Kershaw, and you've got Georgia Ellery, and they all take it in turns to sing the songs. In terms of music-wise, this album's got a very distinctive 70s folk rock, Fairport Convention type edge to it, I think, and it's absolutely superb. The songwriting's really strong, the arrangements, as usual, are really imaginative. It's produced by James Ford, who's the indie producer of note at the moment, and you've got songs, you've got harpsichords, saxophone, you've got recorders, you've got the three female vocalists using the vocals as like a choir effect on some of the tracks, and it's absolutely superb. There's not a bad track on it. I can't stop listening to this. I've been playing it non-stop, and I highly recommend it. It's just a band that seemed to get better and better. And I feel guilty saying this, but I do prefer this element of the band rather than the first incarnation of it. So, yeah, it makes you wonder about other bands, actually. If the frontman suddenly decided to go, there could be a whole another band there, but we'll never know. I mean, what would Led Zeppelin be like with Robert Plant? Or, you know, if somebody else decided to step to the fore, John Bonham, but probably best not. I don't think he could actually sing, but you get my drift. But this is the indie vinyl version. Black Country New Road often do what they call a negative version of their albums, where the colours drain from them. I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I actually prefer the original artwork for this album, but this is the indie variant. This is the one I picked up, and I was lucky enough to get a signed copy that they were offering at the time, so all the band members have signed it. Also, you get this great lyric booklet that comes with it. Some great pictures of the group. And what I like about this band is they all seem to be really close-knit. They all seem to be really good friends. There's a little bit of a gang mentality to them. And like I say, the arrangements and the things they use to make the song sound really distinctive are really cool. Yeah, absolutely great band. So also with this version, which I thought was quite cool, was the fact that the vinyl has sort of like a day and night type. So you've got your sky blue morning on vinyl 1, and I don't know if you can see this, but you've got like a night sky on the second vinyl, but it's got glitter in it, so it's like the night sky and the stars, which is very cool. And also with this album, I went to a playback of it, which seems to be a thing that's a thing now. Independent record shops do listening parties for upcoming albums, so you can go along and see whether you're going to like it or not. And there's often some goodies there as well. And I'll be totally honest with you, I'm an absolute slut for promotional items given away with albums. So I was there. And they gave out this pretty cool tote bag. And also, you got a pencil case. And inside the pencil case, you get a notebook. And also, you get Black Country New Road crayons, which is cool. I know, I act like I'm 12, but, you know, I love goodies. I love goodie bags. So, yeah, that's Black Country New Roads, Forever How Long, and I'm really tipping this to be in a lot of people's end of year list. It's superb. Give it a listen. In fact, give it a listen now. I'll give you a taste of it right now. So the next newbie I'm going to recommend to you is the second album by the band Benefits, and this is Constant Noise. If you're new to Benefits, they're sort of like a political band in that they talk a lot about the state of the UK as it is at the moment and its politics and what's going on. And I think what they're really good at doing is sort of tapping into a lot of the feelings that people have these days about the world being a shit show, and you sort of feel quite powerless to do anything about it. It's quite downbeat, I'll be honest with you, but it's not sort of music that you play after a wedding, at a disco, or at a bar mitzvah. If you think of the band Sleaford Mods, they're sort of like, they're on that sort of wavelength, but Benefits are a bit more direct in the lyrics. Kingsley Ward, who's the frontman and the vocalist, he writes a lot of the lyrics, and I think he's really articulate at the things he's trying to put across. I think his lyrics are really good. this is their second album. The first album was quite different from this. It was a bit more of a sonic attack on your eardrums. It was had a lot of really heavy processed beats. It was sort of a lot of industrial noise, and it was really in your face. Whereas this time around, I think they realised that they couldn't just keep making albums like that. So this one's a bit more nuanced. It's sort of more laid back in terms of a lot of the songs have a lot of cool electronica type soundscapes backing them up, and there's a lot more sort of melody going on, and but there's no less anger in it. There's still a lot of anger. I just think their approach now is it's more laid back rather than headbutting you. They're sort of like putting their arm around you and then whispering in your ear and then headbutting you. But benefits are really cool. I went to a sort of install they did as when this album was released at my local record shop, and they were really cool. Kingsley Ward and Robbie Major did a short set. They were really cool. They were really nice guys, and afterwards they did a signing and they signed the insert, which was pretty cool. So this is on the Invader label, and it's on a neon pink label. Another thing about this is I was thinking just before I bought this album how a lot of record companies these days, when they package the vinyl, they sort of like have the artwork on the label as well. And I've always been a big fan of label identity, like CBS and Harvest and so the big labels. They always had a very distinctive logo. They're very proud of the label identity, and no one seems to do that anymore. It just seems to be like it continues the artwork, and I don't think I don't like it, to be honest with you. I much prefer label identity. I think it's cool. And Invader have done it on this one. So you've got your label copy and your logo and the songwriting credits. And ever since I was a kid, I used to love reading label copy. I used to love it. But I'm also a very sad individual with no friends. So there you go. But I was pleased about that. I like that. There should be more of it, in my opinion. But yeah, that's benefits. So if you're looking for something a bit more thoughtful, a bit more thought-provoking, a bit more sort of angry, then check them out. They're really cool. And like I say, this one is got a strong sort of electronic sort of feel to it this time. So yeah, they're worth checking out. So here's another needle drop for you.
Collaboration, visiting this council, a state of the nation, and I'm on the country shit list. Too many years to rest, to stress or piss, and I've grown up to be a statistic. Written by the pseudo-moralistics and privileged opinionista, and millionaire funded fashionista, and I'm getting it loud and clear. So loud, so loud, so loud, so loud. Blind! Blind!
So I know you probably placed a lot of orders for these albums already, just based on the strength of my wonderful descriptions of them. But before you complete your orders, there's a couple more I want to tell you about. And the first one of those is one that I bought purely on the strength of the cover, because the cover's amazing. And that's what I love about the vinyl format, because if you get a great cover that tells a story, it's just, that's part of the attraction of the format for me. And this is one of them. So this is Keg, and the album's called Fun's Over. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, you're driving down a country lane in your Ford Transit, and then you're confronted by a clown and some absolute weirdo in a mask and a bowler hat with a cricket bat about to do you in. I mean, that's just an incredible cover to me. I mean, what the hell's going on there? It doesn't look like it ended well for the clown, but no one likes clowns anyway. But like I say, this is what first attracted me to the album. Keg are a 7-piece band from Bridlington, and they make what they describe as wonky pop. And it's sort of like, it's kind of like angular indie strangeness, and very experimental in parts. One of the band members is a trombone player, so there's a few like scrunky free jazz type passages in it, but don't let that put you off. There's a lot of guitar in there too, and the lyrics are very abstract. There's also they put a few like character vignettes on here as well, like Alan Bennett's Talking Heads. So you've got like a series of like, not particularly sketches, but like talking heads where they play characters and they act out sort of like they're talking to you about an event that's happened, or you know, something that's occurred in their life, and that adds to the strangeness of it. It's about 3 or 4 of them scattered through the album, but they're all some of them are quite funny, so that adds to the weirdness of it all. They're just like very art rocky and very off kilter. There's some great tracks on here. There's Giving Up Fishing, Sky Bather, and there's a great song called I'd Fly Tip for You, and the chorus of it is I'm in love with Robert Wyatt. I mean, you can't argue with that either, can you? That's a great idea for a chorus. We all love Robert Wyatt, don't we? This is what they call the Dinked edition, which is a series of record shops in around the UK that specialise in sort of one-off vinyl pressings, limited editions of releases that come out. So this one is pressed on like a Galaxy type effect vinyl, and it's also got with it a strange envelope, which inside contains a picture of, well, it's a lithograph, I think they call it, of a man playing the guitar in the nude, which is nice, and it's signed too. But probably the best thing about it is you get a mask from the guy from the front cover to cut out and keep, so you too can wander down country lanes at night and cricket bat people over the head wearing this. So that's an added bonus. So yeah, that's Keg, Fun's Over. So I've been enjoying that for something a bit different, so I'm glad I took a chance on it now. So I'm going to give you a needle drop of this now, and this one's Giving Up Fishing.
Turn my scooter off and turn on David Gray. Coffee through my sherry-soaked raisins, fish out of the suburbs. Well, what does a man need? A one-man tent, breathable, 2 vents, a place to call my own.
And lastly, but not leastly, this is an album by Manchester-born poet and writer Anthony Shemirik, and I'm very sorry, Anthony, if I butchered your name. This is new to me. I think this is his debut album. It's called Service Station at the End of the Universe, and I love the album cover artwork there. But it's really cool. It's sort of like, if you've tried the streets, it's sort of like in that sort of vein in terms of Anti's a published poet. He's got obviously a spoken word delivery, so this is his spoken word observations on life, and it's set to like very euphoric, very upbeat club type music. So it is a very upbeat album. It's really sort of catchy melodies. Like I say, a lot of music that you'd find in a club on a Saturday night. There's even a couple of tracks that sound like 90s type Chicago house type backings on it, over which Anthony talks about life in general, loves, loss, and his other observations. And it's really cool. He comes across really well on here, and it's sort of like one of those, you get to like him through what he's saying, if you know what I mean. He's one of those blokes where after you've listened to some of his songs, you want to put your arms around him, G him up. There's a lot of songs about anxiety and mental illness and things like that. And it's just a great album about, personal observations. There's a great track called Rafters on it, where he talks about a piece of confetti falling from a rafter on the ceiling, and it suddenly takes on a big significance. And I love writing like that, where sort of like seemingly trivial, meaningless things take on a deeper meaning, and that's a really cool track. You've got The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Fallacy on here. That's another great track. There's a track about the pyramid building in Stockport in Manchester, which I think opened up as an insurance sort of grand building. It's all glass fronted, and now it's turned into a huge Indian restaurant, I think. So there's a song about that, and he sort of equates it to what would the Egyptians do today if they were around, and what sort of things would they build. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's a quirky, like I say, it's got a big street sort of influence in it, but it's a lot of observations that are very clever, and his wordplay is really good. But like I say, it's set to a very euphoric backing, so it's a very upbeat album, and it's a really cool first album. So if you want to try something a little bit different, check out Anthony Shamirik. He's really cool, and I'm really enjoying this album. This was pressed on purple vinyl, and it was a record store day issue. It was already pressed once, and then I think it was repressed again for record store day, so I managed to pick a copy up because I missed out on the first pressing. But yeah, this is really cool. I would really recommend checking this out, and I'll give you a taste of it right now.
Is hope included in this meal deal, or? Nah, I didn't think so. The good stuff never is. You know when you forget what you were trying to say? Well, it's like that, but with everything. All the time. And at least sometimes it's dancing. Time's just a construct, but I think we'd be pretty fucked without. Can barely get out of bed as it is. What's on your Christmas wish list? Oh mate, I don't really celebrate if I'm honest, but mine's a Guinness and a big bag of crisps if you're offering. And if you can get me from point A to point C, well, I don't really know. But it's gotta be better than this. Head out the window in a solar eclipse. What's the longest you've ever held a biscuit in a tea without having to make a new one? Oh man, look how big that moon's gone. Man's a kebab and a mango flavoured Rubicon. Trail off again. It's a fallacy, solar fallacy. I'm a hitchhiker, you're a galaxy. Take me away, take me away. I'm the hitchhiker, you're a galaxy. And yes, it is an unconventional way to travel.
So everyone, there are my recommendations for newbies, new releases over the last couple of months. I really hope I've managed to persuade you to investigate further and check them out, and maybe even buy them. If you do listen to any, just drop me a note in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. There's nothing I like better than recommending new music to people. I absolutely love it, and this is why I'm doing this, because to be honest with you, this is really difficult. This is about the third video I've done on this same subject. I've had to redo them because I just keep cocking them up. So I'm still not sure this is the right format for me, but we'll see. I might make 10 videos like Tarantino and just call it a day. At least I've had a go. But yeah, leave me a note in the comments if you like it. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed. I don't know why you subscribed, but it's great that you have, and it's really great that you're on board and you're watching the videos. So I'd just like to say a big thank you to everybody who's done that. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. All the best.